What's going on, everybody? You see a Jaguar back with GenJag.com and also Phantom Sports. Shout out to those guys for being a new sponsor and picking up my videos and sharing it on their Facebook site. If you guys haven't already, please go down to the description box and go ahead and like Phantom Sports on Facebook. So the Jacksonville Jaguars last Saturday decided to sign Blake Bortles to a 3-year, $54 million deal. Now, to me, this contract made a lot of sense, and to a lot of other Jaguar fans, it actually did. I feel like the ratio of Jaguar fans that were for this versus against it were probably 75 to 80% people who understood and supported this deal, while, about 20-25% of fans did not enjoy this. But a lot of people that don't really follow the Jaguars and kind of look at the team from the outside in act like the Jaguars are the stupidest team ever for signing this contract. Now, in this video, I want to basically explain to you guys why this deal got done and why it was a good idea. Alright, let's get it.
It's a foot race. Robinson and Browner, and it's Robinson who wins it. Touchdown, Jacksonville. His 14th win. Bortles with time, looking deep for Robinson, and the catch is.
So to help you guys understand why this deal makes sense, I want to go back to Tom Coughlin's words after this deal got done. The first part of his statement, he said, "Blake's growth and development last season was a key to the success we had as a team." The key words there are growth and development, and Blake Bortles did this big time in 2017. I mean, in the preseason he was awful, and in the first few games he was also really bad. But I want to go down to the numbers and really show you guys kind of what he did on the stat sheet. Now, the first 6 games of the season, the Jaguars finished off 3-3, and in these games, the Jaguars, quite frankly, were losing games in spite of Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles was not all that great. He had a 57% completion percentage, and he had 8 touchdowns to 5 interception touchdown ratio. Now, some of these wins included getting 10 sacks against the Houston Texans, getting 5 interceptions against Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. And against the Ravens, Blake Bortles actually did play well that game, but really that was the only game out of those first 6 games where he actually played pretty well. Now, the final 10 games of the season and 3 games into the playoffs was really when he started to show improvement as a quarterback and a lot of development. Now, in the final 13 games, we went 9-4. Blake Bortles had a 61% completion percentage. He threw 16 touchdowns versus 8 interceptions, having a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Now, one of the biggest things about those final 13 games is that he was taking really good care of the football. Of those 13 games, only 4 of those games did he actually throw an interception. Blake Bortles, coming into the 2017 season, had a big stigma for throwing interceptions, and most notably, pick sixes. He had as many pick sixes as he did wins as a quarterback. And in 2017, he only threw 1 pick 6. And when I say taking care of the ball, he also did this very well when it comes to his pocket presence. Now, he fumbled a lot less this year. I think he only had 3 lost fumbles this season. And he just had a really good ability to be able to avoid sacks. His pocket presence, I mean, he felt pressure coming. He was able to move around the pocket and just avoid sacks. That was a huge thing, just because when you get sacked, those can essentially be drive killers, especially with the Jaguars offense that really lacked a lot of firepower when it comes to playmaking ability. Now, the next part of Tom Coughlin's statement says, "Blake has proven with toughness and dependability that he can be the leader this team needs going forward." Now, the big thing about that statement is toughness and dependability. One thing that Blake Bortles can give you is that the guy doesn't get injured. Since taking over the starting quarterback position in the year 2014, he has not missed a single start, and he hasn't even really missed any drives at all due to his injuries. If there's one cliche in sports, it is that the best ability is availability, and that's huge at the quarterback position just because it's obviously the most important position on the team. And at quarterback, you take pretty much all the starting reps in practice. You have to develop a chemistry with your wide receivers, and when you go from one quarterback to another, the other quarterbacks have totally different skill sets. So you're going to have to totally switch up your offensive play calling on the fly, and that's not what an offense coordinator wants to do. You know, you build a offense around what the quarterback does well and what the team does well. And when you move on from a quarterback, when you go from Blake Bortles to Chad Henne, you're getting two completely different styles of quarterbacks. So also another part of that statement is toughness. If there's one thing, you know, you can debate whether or not Bortles is obviously a good quarterback and he can be a franchise quarterback going forward, but one thing you cannot take away and one thing you cannot argue is his toughness. Blake Bortles might be the toughest quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he sits there and takes licks, takes hits. He always gets right back up, and that's a huge thing, especially when it comes to the kind of organization that we have when it comes to Tom Coughlin and Doug Marrone, old school, hard-nosed guys that really take no BS, and you know, they like tough guys, so that's obviously what Bortles has to bring. And I think also this toughness really inspires some of the players around him. You know, like I'll see Cam Robinson out there bagging him up. You know, you have Brandon Linder out there, you know, saying good things about Blake Bortles, and Malik Jackson literally in the middle of an interview with Calais Campbell literally hopped in and defended his guy Blake. I mean, I think that his toughness really earns the respect of a lot of the players on the Jaguars. Now, the last part of Tom Coughlin's statement is, along with this contract come high expectations that he will continue to improve and help our team accomplish its ultimate goal, which is obviously the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, the big part of that statement is that he believes that Bortles will continue to improve and that they have high expectations for him going into next season. And like I said, the first 6 games of the season, the Jaguars were 3-3, looking like a 500 team, and they were winning in spite of Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles did not help us really win those games except for maybe the Ravens game, but he definitely helped us add to that loss column in those games. But in the final 13 games of the season, you really saw a maturation of Blake Bortles. And the most annoying thing that I hear out of people that, you know, want to blindly talk shit about Blake Bortles is how, oh, the only reason why they were in the AFC Championship game is because the defense carried them. The defense is the only reason why they were there. Blake Bortles sucks. And that is such an annoying statement because I'm just going to bring up one fact to you guys. The Steelers put up 42 points against us in the AFC divisional round. We had to put up 45 points on the board, and that was largely because Blake Bortles was able to fire back and throw strike for strike with Ben Roethlisberger. So if you're saying that the Jaguars only got to the AFC Championship game because of our defense, you're flat out wrong. And then people want to go out here and say, oh, you're never going to go to a Super Bowl with Blake Bortles. We literally had a 10-point lead with like 7 minutes left in the Patriots game, and the defense couldn't hold on to a 10-point lead. It was just a team loss. I mean, in the playoffs, definitely the Bills game. The Bills game, the defense played great. They held the Bills to only 3 points while our offense scored 10 points. We hung on to that one. You know, obviously in the Steelers game, the offense really helped us out a lot. You know, when the defense wasn't playing as well, the offense went out there and balled out. In the final game, it was looking like we were having a complete game. The first 3 quarters of the game, the offense was playing really well. The defense was playing really well. But I thought what hurt us was obviously the play calling really handcuffs us. We had 4 possessions in the 4th quarter of that game, and every single one started with a 1st and 10 Leonard Fournette run right up the asshole of Brandon Linder, leading to like little to even loss of yards. And then the defense obviously gave up a 10-point lead. This all-world defense that apparently carries us everywhere we go. So just don't make these blind assumptions that the only reason why we had any success was because of our defense, and not give Blake Bortles any credit. Now, I know I maybe sound like a Blake apologist right now. I don't necessarily mean to, but what I'm doing, I'm just coming in defense of this guy just because everybody wants to just act like he has this really bad stigma that he's like the worst quarterback in the NFL or something when he's really not. I think in the NFL, when you have a reputation for being bad, it's going to be hard to really break that kind of look. I mean, you look at 2016. Blake Bortles was probably the worst starting quarterback in the NFL. The guy was throwing helicopters, interceptions off of people's feet, and then obviously the way he played in the preseason didn't help as well. So people just have this common belief about Blake Bortles, and then, you know, the Jaguars not getting any primetime games or anything, people were just going to write off and just agree with whatever the experts say about the guy. The national media tries to put these things inside of people's heads, like when Tom Coughlin first came. Oh, Blake Bortles is going to be out the door. Tom Coughlin isn't a Blake Bortles guy. Oh, the Jaguars are going to look to try to find a quarterback in free agency. Oh, they're going to draft a guy with the number 4 overall pick. Once Blake Bortles does bad, oh, they're going to be looking to trade for Kaepernick. They're going to be looking to trade for Eli Manning. And then this offseason, all the experts are trying to lead you to believe, oh, the Jaguars are going to move on from Blake Bortles. They're going to bring in a free agent quarterback, or they're going to draft somebody with their first round pick. But when it comes to it, guys, everybody was ready to write off Blake Bortles. You know, the fans were, I was obviously, the experts were. Nobody thought that he'd be able to turn around. But the people that believed in him were the people in the organization. The people in the organization believe in Blake Bortles more than anybody else, and they kind of proved everybody wrong when Blake Bortles went out and did what he did in the postseason and really got us so close to playing in a Super Bowl. Now, the experts are going to still tell you that we're going to be drafting a quarterback with our first round pick, that this deal that Blake signed was just a bridge for our new quarterback. But to be completely honest with you guys, I don't think that the Jaguars are going to spend much in free agency, and I think they're going to address a lot of things in the draft. And with that said, I really don't think that the Jaguars are going to be drafting a quarterback in the top 3 rounds. Unless really the value is there. Like, I just don't think that they're going to say, oh, we signed Blake Bortles to this deal, but, you know, we still think that he might fail. So in the case that he might fail, we're just going to bring in this rookie to come in and basically take the reins from him after 5 or 6 games where he sucks. Like, that's what the national media is trying to get the people out there to believe, and it's just bullshit. So this deal makes a lot of sense to me. Blake Bortles is like the 18th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. He's getting paid less than guys that are on their rookie deals. I think that he moved himself into that top 20 quarterback slot, so this deal is really, really good because it's going to enable us to be able to go out there and sign other free agents. If we were to sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, we would be so handcuffed in what we want to do. What we need to do is we need to take this money and spend it on keeping our defense together, because as long as our defense is together and as long as our defense stays elite, then we're going to be a force to reckon with. And then I think we need to use the draft to be able to replace guys that go out and get paid elsewhere. And if we can continue to draft well every year, we're going to be a good team for years to come. So with all that said, that was kind of my little mini rant. It's just kind of annoying how I hear these so-called experts acting like they know shit about the Jaguars, acting like they have inside sources with what Tom Coughlin's saying. Oh, the Jaguars going to look to upgrade their quarterback position. Tom Coughlin is so tight-lipped. He's not letting anything go out. The national media is going to try to sway people's opinions one way and just make it out that Blake Bortles is the worst quarterback in the NFL and that we're total idiots for signing this deal. So I just wanted to rant a little bit and, you know, not necessarily sound like a Bortles apologist, but just come out here and just state the facts about why this happened. Basically going off of what Tom Coughlin, the statement that he released, said. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching my video. This is UC at Jaguar with JenJag.com, and I'm out.